Well, hey there. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to give just a couple of minutes for others to hop in here as we get started, but I'm hoping you can hear me without any trouble. If you can, do me a favor and just put it into the chat box that yes, you can hear me. Was having some earlier challenges with my technology. So hope you're having a great Friday, everybody, and welcome to this IEC Coffee Talk. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate you letting me know. So welcome everyone. For those of you that were up at the HECA conference, hope you had a great time there. I know we did, and I definitely did. I really enjoyed being up there and seeing so many friendly faces. It's the best part about doing the conferences is getting a chance to get out and well, get educated and see your friends. You know, that's the hardest part about being across the country the way we are, and the ability to come together like that is huge. So I wanted to talk about a couple of things today. Specifically, I get the question all the time about how to handle twins. And I can understand how this can be a little confusing. My recommendation when it comes to twins is that you approach it by, if you want to get totally separate information, of course, you need to set up separate accounts for both of them. So the advantage to that is it's going to give you a chance to really dive into and give specific schools, because twins can absolutely apply to different schools. They've got different academics when it comes to their GPA and test scores, for example. And so ideally, you're going to set up a separate account. If you've got a family that's kind of balking at paying twice the price, or, even in your case, if you're balking at that, the only option would be that you have to change the information around. And, again, I think the very, very best way, if you can, is to set up separate accounts so that you can move forward with that, so that each student has their own details so they can get in there, play around with their numbers and everything. I also want to talk about the onboarding process. Sometimes I think that folks can be a little intimidated by it, and yet the truth of the matter is the MyCAP platform is designed with just basic questions that the family has to answer as they start to get into it. And so it takes them line by, or item by item through the process. In fact, when you get to being in the platform itself, it's possible that there could be some things that were missed, and it'll actually show that for your families in their profile. Let's not forget that depending upon which platform you're using, if you're using the MyCAP platform, which is different, of course, from the advisor workstation, but if you're doing that, the families are in charge of filling in their profile when it comes to all those details. With the advisor workstation, the difference is that you're actually going in and you can help, or you can invite them to do a discovery or the collaboration mode where they can fill those kinds of details in. But again, it's pretty straightforward. If you run into trouble with that, let us know. There's also a video that comes with the MyCAP in particular that helps to walk them through the onboarding process. Just so that you're aware, there will be some big changes, or some changes, I should say, coming to the software here in July, where we will be officially rolling out the FAFSA simplification changes. Now, the software already reflects the elimination of the multi-student discount in the on the federal side of things, for sure. But our intent is to update everything, all the calculations that come into play, the inclusion of the business valuations, the elimination, for example, with the federal side of contributions to the retirement accounts. In other words, folks that are putting money into their 401k plans in the past, it got added back to their income. That will not be the case moving forward. In addition to that, the way the child support is handled, before it was handled as income, it's not going to be considered an asset, those types of things. So there's some big changes that are going on with that. In regards to the onboarding, the one thing that you do need to know is that the vast majority of scholarships that are in our database are driven by the unweighted GPA. And I know that sometimes it's tough to get that information because high schools in particular have gotten around to, just putting a weighted GPA on transcripts. And so it's possible that you're going to have your families or your students go back to their counselors, their high school counselors, to be able to get that unweighted GPA. But you definitely want to make sure that there's an unweighted GPA put in there. It's based on a 4.0 scale. And again, the reason is because there are plenty of colleges that's what they use. Yes, there are some exceptions. I can tell you, for example, Miami University up in Ohio, in Oxford, Ohio, uses a weighted GPA, and others do as well. But definitely get both, just to be safe. Some of you may be wondering where we get our stats when it comes to the details that we give, whether it's the scholarships, whether it's the particular details on the colleges themselves. And so I thought I would tell you what that is. When it comes to the school data, that's coming from Peterson's, plus some additional sources that we use to fill that in. Scholarship data is from the school sites and also our proprietary process that we have. The salary data comes from Job Search Intelligence, which is an organization that we work with. The private scholarships, which are, as you know, are in the MyCAP software and also in the AWS platform, is through Peterson's. And then finally, the majors by college, that comes from iPads. So as you can tell, plenty of sources. We're always out there looking for the most accurate information that we can share with you and your families. Because we really do want to make sure that you've got the best information possible. Let's also accept the fact that things do change. In fact, that's one of the best ways that you help us. You're out there, as you hear about things, let us know. Go to support@collegeaidpro.com and give us an update. Because sometimes colleges make changes that we're not aware of. I may have mentioned this in a prior webinar, but Baylor University, for example, changed their approach to merit scholarships this last year. And so we had to make sure that we were on top of it and make those changes in the software. I also want to talk about how CAP markets to your families. This is something that has come up. I also want to try to take away any preconceived notions that we're out to get your clients or out to take on your clients. You need to know that, quite frankly, we'd be foolish as a company to try to take away your clients. And kind of the perspective that I give is this, there's over 3 million high school graduates every year. And depending upon what percentage of those go on to college, you match that up to the 8,000 independent counselors, give or take, that are out there. You can tell that there's a lot of families that are, not working with IECs. We are asked questions from families all the time because of the free webinars that we give. And I can assure you that the very first thing that we do is we say, if you're already working with an independent educational consultant, this next section is not for you. And in fact, one of the things that we're doing internally is that we're using the software that we have to actually collect and make sure that your clients, at all possible, is it perfect? I can't say that it is, but that we're going to do everything we possibly can to make sure that your clients are not receiving any kind of marketing materials on anything that's going on that's dealing with admissions or essays or things like that. Now, here's what that means. If your families are using your landing page to set up their MyCAP accounts, it's going to then be coded to you. It's actually connected to you, as you know, because it's part of the collaboration mode of what we have. And when that happens, then we have the ability internally to make sure that those folks are not receiving those marketing campaigns. Remember, we are a for-profit company. College Aid Pro is. We're not a nonprofit, and so that means that we're out there, trying to find or reach our clientele. But to that extent, what that means is that they will be coded just as you will be coded to not get that information. If, however, a family finds MyCAP on their own, or if you just refer them over without using your discount code or anything else like that, there's no way for us to know that they're connected to you. And so again, just realize we're doing absolutely everything we can within the company. It's a common conversation that we have in our leadership meetings, that they're having, that the leadership is having, to make sure that we're protecting your clients against any information. And the other thing I would say to you is always, always remind your clients that if they're coming to MyCAP, that you're providing all the fantastic, services and resources yourself to them. So they don't need to hear about essays or the admissions process or, some of the other things that come up for some of those things. So again, we're doing everything we possibly can to protect your clients and protect you. And we sure as heck are not going out searching for families that are already working with IECs. So I just want to make sure that that you're aware of that. One other thing that you need to know, and I'm going to mention this now because I don't want to forget about this, is that there are some big changes coming moving forward on our platforms. As of July the 1st, there are some price changes coming and some different offerings that are going away. So for example, the Essentials package is going to change for anyone who has that. Now, here's what you need to hear me say. It's only for new people that it's going to no longer be available. If you're already one of our essential users, if you're using our advisor workstation, if you've already got your landing pages set up, whether it's the free version where you're just inviting your clients with the 15% discount, or you're actually partnering with us where you're purchasing bundles, none of that is going to change. You are all grandfathered in. But moving forward, for new IECs that are considering working with us, and if you're one of those who's still on the fence trying to decide, then you do need to know that those changes will go into effect on July the 1st, and we'll be rolling that out. And it's definitely going to be different with some of the things that are going on there. So I'm not trying to put a teaser out there, but I'm just trying to tell you the reality. So again, you're protected if you're already working with us. If you're considering it, you really do need to talk to us before July the 1st, to see what options make the most sense for you. And quite frankly, a couple of those changes are going to be good changes. You would be shocked at how few people, do the Essentials package anyway, because most IECs are wanting to, just have their families have access to the software, but they don't want to get into the weeds when it comes to their income or their assets. They don't want to get into the weeds of talking about 529 plans or tax strategies or income strategies or whatever it might be. They want to do what they're really, really good at, which is working through the specifics on picking colleges and then using the software to really show the very best options for need-based aid and merit aid from an affordability standpoint. We're all on the same mission together when it comes to that, which is helping families not put themselves into a compromising situation in the future. So those are the biggies as far as what I wanted to talk about today. I'd like to open it up if you have any questions. I will do my best to answer them, of course. If it's something that's above my pay grade, I may have to get you some additional information. But I know that this is kind of a short and sweet little IEC Coffee Talk with you. But does anyone have a question for me? If you do, please put it into the chat box, and I will be happy to answer it for you. Give you just a few minutes here to type away or whatever you'd like to do. Okay, I'll give it about another 10 seconds here. Oh, there we go. All right. So let's see what we've got here. I noticed a free webinar for families next week. Should we refer our families there? So Probably that webinar that you're looking for is one on college funding. That's the one I assume that you're talking about. And that's totally up to you. I mean, it's going to talk and get into the nitty gritty about understanding college loans and payment plans and all those kinds of things. So it definitely would be worthwhile if you've got families that are trying to understand those pieces of the puzzle. It's part of our regular 5 webinar series that we do through the year. That's absolutely free. So yeah, I mean, I think it would be absolutely worthwhile. Again, I would, just say to you, preface it by saying, look, we're working on everything else, but this is a great way for you to deal with the college funding conversations. And I think that could be definitely worth it to you. Let's see, would it be best to wait till July the 1st to onboard clients? Oh, very interesting question. Here's what I would say. The software is definitely going to change just a little bit, in the sense that it's going to have some of those other things that I was talking about, like the child support changes and the business valuation changes and things like that. But the fact of the matter is that the same kinds of questions are going to continue to be asked. So if there were any changes to any of those questions, your families would get a notification when they logged in the future. So honestly, I think it would be fine to just go ahead and have them jump in there now. The multi-student discount has already been eliminated, so there won't be any concerns with that at all. So the changes are going to be just more internally than they are externally when it comes to what families are going to see. So I would say there's no worries with jumping in. When we get new clients, what are the steps for getting them set up? Do we have to repeat the same steps each time, or can we resume our coupon or reuse our coupon number? Oh, great question. Yeah, so the 15% discount coupon that's available to you can be used for every single family. There's just use it as long as you want to. There's no limit on it. There's no maximum number that you have on that. The only difference would be if you're on option 2 with us, which is where you are, partnering with us and actually paying for your client to have access to the software. That's where, once you use those up, you'll have to purchase additional coupons for that. So yeah, there's no reason that you can't continue to use that 15% coupon for the referrals that you're sending over to the software. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. Any other questions from anybody? By the way, I will just mention that just remember that we do have those free webinars through the year that families get invited to, that are specific to college funding conversations. I want to be very, very clear on that. We, for example, offer you and your families the line by line walking through when it comes to the CSS profile and the FAFSA. Now, we all know that the FAFSA is going to be delayed until sometime in December. And so that's something that's, we're just going to have to wait on. When that officially comes out, PEG will be doing that video for families in that webinar series. And of course, then we also do, Financial Aid 101. We do the appeals process. We do, other presentations on, just understanding the options that are available. So I share that with you because, as you can tell, again, those are 100% focused on the funding side of things, which is definitely something that you would want to utilize when it comes to your families. It's part of the value add that you get by working with us at College Aid Pro and MyCAP. Let's see here. Do you recommend, let's see, are there videos in the library for learning about the new? There are not. So the question is, are there videos yet on the new FAFSA? And the answer is not yet. There will be webinars for sure. In fact, it's the next series that's probably coming out will be webinars that are going to be dealing with the changes that are coming. So just stay tuned, okay? Do you recommend your webinars for specific years, rising seniors, rising juniors, sophomores? It's a really good question. You have to know that I'm in my own practice, in my own IEC practice, I want my families to be educated early rather than later. I mean, I really do. I think one of the biggest problems, and we see it, of course, in the high schools, is that high schools don't even talk about the money until we come into, if they're lucky, the end of the junior year, more likely the senior year. Believe me, it's when I get invited to go into high schools and do my presentations. And I think it's really doing a disservice. So I would say, the sooner you get your families to watch the videos and get educated, the better. It's going to help you too with the planning that you're doing with your families. So that would really be the best way to approach it. When I logged in, you were talking about twins. Can you say more about schools that discount multiple students in a family, scholarships? Okay, so actually I didn't dive into that at all when it came to the twins. It was really just how to handle twins when it comes to the MyCAP software. So here's the deal. One of the things we know is that there are definitely some CSS profile colleges who will continue to do discounting for students for multiples, 30 or 40% discounts. And it's one of those things, though, moving forward, where it's going to be a school by school basis because the FAFSA is removing or eliminating the multi-student discount. Some of those schools are likely going to do something to promote that. I mean, they're probably going to go out there and say, hey, did you know that we do discounting for, multiple kids in college or twins, So unfortunately, that's something that's going to have to just be, where you're working through those details, and or if there are twin scholarships that are available, it's possible. I can't guarantee you this, but it's possible that those might be listed in our database if those schools give those out. So, okay, you guys are asking great questions. Keep them coming. Again, I'll do my best to answer them. If I can't, I'll work on getting you an answer. But anybody else have anything they'd like to talk about today? Just give it a couple more minutes here. Does the software provide any information on parents who are divorced? I guess you have to clarify this a little bit more for me, because the way that I at least recommend that families or that you work with divorced families is just like the twins, in the sense that, well, let's put it this way. With a divorced family, let's hope that you're working with parents who get along with each other. I mean, like the family I was with this morning, they're fantastic. Mom and dad split expenses right down the middle. They have open communication about things. In fact, crazily, they're not afraid to share their financials. That's a unique situation. I realize that. But what I would say to you is many families are not going to want to share their details. And so it's going to be an individual case-by-case basis. You're likely going to have individual accounts then that need to be set up. Although, if you think about it, if it's one child that we're talking about, one family could be the one that's actually putting in all the colleges and running with it that direction. And the other family could use the free version, which is up to 3 colleges, just to run their numbers, to run their federal and their institutional numbers. And I think that strategy could work, unless they're in a case where they also want to see what the colleges look like. So that would be my advice. But one family for sure is going to need the comprehensive approach. And also, by the way, just so that you're aware of this, there are also changes with how we call these things. Right now, there's the free version, the scholar version, and the valedictorian. So the free version, of course, is up to 3 colleges at no cost. The scholar level is access to all of the colleges in our database, which is over 3,800 colleges. And then the valedictorian is access to the software plus a 1-hour consult with one of our CAP experts. I can tell you that the name changes. So the free is going to be free. The scholar is going to change to premium. And then the valedictorian is going to change to premium plus. And I know for sure that the pricing on the premium plus is going to increase. It's going to go to $349 moving forward. So that again is for the software and the 1 hour consultation. But don't forget your discounts do apply. So if you're already set up with us and you have our discount codes, then you've got the ability to give that discount to your families, which is the 15% discount. Okay. Not seeing any other questions. I think I'm going to wrap up a little early. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for joining me today, and definitely join us again the next time if you would, and help get the message out, because by that point in time, the new pricing will be in effect. And I promise you that will probably be the big topic that everyone wants to hear about. So take care, everyone.